Hey guys, how you doing? I was going to use Mr. Flipchart. I actually tried like 2 minutes ago and the whole thing crashed. So we're just going to do it this way. I haven't done a broadcast for quite a while. Redesigned the website actually, so you can head over there, healingcenter.ca or russelltoe.com. I'll get you there, which is over there. If got a couple of physical health issues I've been kind of challenged with, which is kind of interesting. So if my voice sounds like crap, that is why. So any practitioners out there that could send some energy my way, that would be good. I've listened to a lot of teachers in my time, and while they may use different words and different contexts, different ways of framing it, their own perspective, this skill is the word I use, is one that they all agree upon and talk about. And as I say in the show notes, is the number one skill to develop for living a life of freedom in the present moment, which is, it really is true. And it's very simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Some of the descriptors that I like to use are or is living your present moment experience reactively, reacting versus responding, or reacting versus creating. So Mr. Flipchart doesn't seem to want to work, so we're just going to do it this way. So what are the components of this, the mechanical components? Well, there is you, your soul, your spirit, your higher self. There are your thoughts, right? Your mind, your belief systems, your memories, visualizing that region. And then there's your external environment, or your physical, the physical aspect of this present moment. Now, the flow of information, we could call it that you use to create your experience of this present moment, which is what you're doing right now. It starts in the physical. There's that physical aspect of it for our purposes here. It flows through the non-physical, your mind, your thoughts, your memories, your belief systems. That stimulus flows through that before you, your soul, your spirit experience it. So what's really interesting about that, and it'll drive you crazy all at the same time, is your experience of this present moment is your experience of this present moment. And every one of us have our own unique experience of this present moment. Now, two of us could be sitting in the same room, so physically in the same room. So we're immersed in the same physical stimulus, but we can have two very different experiences of that same physical environment. Why is that the case? Because it has to flow through our mind. It has to flow through our thoughts. It has to flow through our memories. It has to flow through those belief systems before it gets to us. So there's that process. A stimulus external flows through memories, belief systems, et cetera. Then you, your spirit, your soul experience it. So what is living reactively? So reactively is the stimulus, Lord. Oh, the stimulus comes through, again, your memories, your belief systems, all that type of thing. So what happens is this stimulus somehow triggers one or some, again, of whatever this is. Again, memory, belief system, like pick your label. So the external stimulus comes in, and it's like it collides or triggers or resonates or irritates something in your non-physical. And then what happens is that we'll use the word trauma for lack of a better term. Well, no, we're not. We're going to use truth for our purposes here, because these things aren't good or bad. They just are. And that truth or memory or belief system reacts to the external stimulus. So here's the physical coming in. It somehow again triggers something in the non-physical, and that something in the non-physical then causes your body, you begin to say it's what reacts with this external environment. It's not you. Have you ever had this happen? Something happens, you react to it, and one or two things, or both at the same time, happen. The first one is the action that you take or reaction that you take is instant, and then you kind of catch up with it afterwards and go, what the hell did I just do? Or here comes the stimulus. Whatever is in the non-physical is reacting, and it's like you're watching yourself participating in this present moment. You're aware of what's going on, but your soul or spirit, is watching you reacting, watching what you do, how you interact with your external environment. It really is like you're a spectator, which is a very accurate descriptor of it. Because when that happens, you're not the one that's calling the shots. This is. Now, why is that neither good nor bad? Because if you happen to touch a hot stove, thank goodness this truth in here is hot things burn. So what's going to happen? You touch the hot stove. Here comes the stimulus. It interacts or triggers this truth, hot things burn, and you move your hand away. You don't think, do you? Touch the hot stove, immediately you jerk your hand away. You don't think, right? It's like a reflex, another word for it. So this isn't good or bad, because thank goodness we don't have to go, oh my God, why is it hurting so much, and figure out what you're going to do. You just do it. So reacting, oh God, reacting, which is very accurately, we could say, is reenacting something from the past. Because somewhere along the line, you learned that hot things burn. So that's sitting there. Here comes the stimulus, and this reacts before you even realize it. And again, thank goodness that's there. Now, where this is a detriment is when there's those truths, those traumas, those belief systems that don't serve us, maybe never did. And if they did, they don't anymore. And this is where the freedom piece comes in. Because as you understand this, it's interesting. This is something that the very first masters, Reiki Masters manual I built, that had a page about this exact same thing. It actually had a graphic about living reactively versus responsively. So this first explanation was reactively, react. What's the definition of that? This truth or this belief system is reenacting something from the past without you interceding or intervening. Again, it can be good, it can serve you, but then it also maybe doesn't serve you. So the trick is the ones that don't serve you. And this is where even just being aware of this process is so valuable. Because this is the difference in many respects between living a life of freedom and one that isn't. Sorry, my brain is just not working the way it should here. It's kind of thick. Is that we are aware, here comes the stimulus. And you might be even aware your body wants to react. Right? We react with our body, right? Your body wants to react. But when we're aware of this process and we practice catching that, we can choose to intervene if this reaction is not the one we want. And this really comes into play, again, with past traumas. Have you ever had this happen? Similar situations cause you to react in certain ways, sometimes in ways that you would rather not, but you don't catch up with that until it's over, right? We talk about getting our buttons pushed. What is that? It's exactly what it is. There's a stimulus out here that pushes that button. This reacts. You're kind of watching the process, or you catch up afterwards. And so by understanding this and practice being aware of what our body's doing, because our body is the one that reacts. You can feel it. Your body wants to react to this stimulus. But as you practice being aware of that, you can choose whether you want to intervene and react, or intervene and act differently. And that's really, it's that magic window. And it's just such a short period of time. But even just now, as you're aware of this process, practice it. When you react to something, go, okay, so what just happened? Stimulus triggered this, reacted, then I caught up. Or stimulus triggered reacting, and I was reacting, and I'm kind of watching this going on, right? So remember, at any point in time, you can intervene, but usually once that gets started, it's too late. So the sooner you can catch this, the better. So the stimulus comes, your body wants to react, and you're going to have to catch it because it wants to react. It's designed to react. And this is where having that management of your body is so powerful. Being present to what you're feeling is so powerful, because your body, you're going to have to override your body because your body wants to do this, right? The thought processes want to do this and to react. And this is where you have the freedom, is to go, do I want to think this way? Do I want to act this way? If it's a yes, then do it. But if it's a no, you can choose to do something different. Now, as far as it relates to this, here's what's really important. Whether it's a reaction or a response, that is all on you. It is not on the external stimulus. And this is probably the biggest truth in this. Is the reaction and or the responding is all on you. It has really nothing to do with the person, place, thing, or event that is providing the stimulus. Now, that doesn't make the environment right or good or supposed to happen. It has nothing to do with that. Or we're supposed to, let people that are just being assholes, right? Go, oh, well, I shouldn't react or anything like that. See, it has nothing to do with that. It doesn't make like heroes out of villains or villains out of heroes. For our purposes here, it's just stimulus. The reaction or the responding is you. And learning to understand and manage that. And then you get to choose. And then what happens is you're going to react a whole lot less. Yes, there's those ones you want to just kind of leave, like hot things burn, things like this. But there's a whole bunch of other ones that you're going to have to kind of ride herd on, because your body's so used to reacting without you really playing any part in it, that it's going to take some time to catch it, to go, no, wait, just that moment, is this what I want to do in this situation? Or do I want to think something different? Do I want to feel something different? Do I want to act somehow differently? And so many people go through, like, it seems like their entire life living reactively, not responsibly. And these are the ones that essentially are living the same moment, the same day, the same week, the same month, the same year, over and over and over. So to practice being aware of those stages, stimulus, these thought processes, and then you. All right, guys, it wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to be. As I said, I'm not 100%, but I did want to get this out. It popped up into my awareness earlier today and just kind of stuck with me. So Flipchart, it decided to crash. This is deciding. This is deciding to crash, but I wanted to get this done. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you on the web.